Coming up in today's food adventure, I'm in Shunde, the home of the best Cantonese food, period.
Holy moly, wow, yes, excitement.
A place where you really can't judge a book by its cover.
Peter, where have you taken me?
Because the simple fact is, it's impossible to find bad food in this city of foodies.
If I got this at a Michelin star restaurant, I'd be like, yep, okay, that's what I expect.
So go grab some snacks and get comfy because this is about to be one seriously drool-worthy food adventure.
Hello, hello, and welcome to another very exciting food adventure. I'm here with Peter.
Hello.
And today I've done something I've never done before, which is catch the metro to another city. So this morning we caught a speed train from Meizhou to Guangzhou, and from there we hopped right onto the Guangzhou City Metro, which I only just realized is actually connected to the Foshan City Metro. It's a city nearby. So yeah, here we are just casually metroing our way over to Foshan.
You know what is in Foshan?
Yes, of course. Your favorite city, Shunde.
So this will be my 4th time visiting Shunde, and no, it doesn't get old. Every excursion here brings a new incredible dish discovery. So something you guys should know about Shunde is it's known as the home of Cantonese chefs, and it's a truth universally acknowledged that if you want to eat good Cantonese food, you've got to come to Shunde.
My favorite city for eating, the land of fish and rice, and today's video is going to be all about eating fish and rice.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so excited about the stop that we have just arrived at. So backstory, last time I was in Sydney, I went to a restaurant called Taste of Shunde, and there the owner Sue introduced me to a new dish. It's called Chen-cun-fen.
Chen-cun-fen is a very thin rice noodle sheet, which increases a lot of surface area for you to soak your chen-cun-fen into the sauce.
I love that so much.
That noodle is really good.
Anyway, guess where we have just arrived? Chen-cun, we are going to get Chen-cun-fen.
So since we've literally just arrived in the city, we're still hauling our suitcases along behind us as we head straight to dinner. See that golden shining sign in the distance? That's where we're headed.
Oh, this place looks fancy, Peter.
It is pretty fancy.
So it was established almost 100 years ago, back in 1927, and Peter let me know that this is one of his family's favorite spots, and after seeing the menu, I can completely understand why.
Wait, is that a crab?
Yeah.
So it's a crab looking at its stash of Chen-cun-fen.
Exactly. Does it look like something that will suit you?
Yes. That will be just fine.
Okay, sure. Chen-cun-fen, I kind of feel like in Chen-cun, it is not really a dish, but an ingredient. You can get all creative with your chen-cun-fen. As you see in the menu, we have chen-cun-fen as a cold dish, stir-fried chen-cun-fen. You have like 2 steamed chen-cun-fen, one with like a pork rib, one with the beef brisket, pan-fried chen-cun-fen, soupy dish of chen-cun-fen, stir-fried again.
Yeah, is there any other Chen-cun-fen related dishes that we can get?
Well, I mean, if you're feeling it, we can get the shaoe chen-cun-fen.
Yes. We're ready to order.
We're not even done yet.
Whoa. I mean, okay.
We're not even done yet.
There's
Come
more?
on. Yeah,
How can it get better than Chen-cun-fen with shaoe?
So for those of you who don't know, shaoe is literally in my top 3 favorite dishes of all time, and it's a Shunde specialty. It's roast goose, and it's so freaking flavorful and juicy and roasted to perfection. So here we've got exactly that, but served with rice noodles soaking in that majestic goose juice. Wow, I think this is about to blow my mind.
Okay, so I'm also thinking about this gung, which is kind of like a mushy texture kind of soup.
I mean, it doesn't sound as good as the Chen-cun-fen with the shaoe, but I mean, if you think it's good, we get it.
Well, it is good, and there's like some pretty important significance in that dish that I can probably explain.
Amazing. Okay.
Yep.
Well, now I think we can order.
Actually, also thinking about another dish.
Peter, how hungry are you?
We can finish all of them. This one.
Oh, you want to get pomelo skin?
With yufu. You probably don't know what yufu is,
No.
but let me explain later. If we're still not enough, I'm gonna order more because I feel like this is not enough.
Sure.
First dish to arrive is our gung, which is a word to describe a thick soup consistency.
So this is a thick soup with lingyu, so a kind of carp. It is actually very typical to this region. And this kind of mud carp, it is actually very small and then very bony, but Shunde people, they do have the technique of utilizing every single cell of the mud carp.
So you'll see lingyu or dace on the menu all over here in Shunde, and it's served in a huge variety of ways. So I'm excited to try it in this thick soup here.
So umami.
Umami is literally on the next level.
And I love all the textures in there as well.
You know what? This bowl is actually full of wonders. We have some winter melons. This one is sigua. We have some long-awaited lingyu piece of meat.
All of these as he's introducing them, Peter's just eating them.
Mushrooms. And did you actually taste some herbalness?
Yes, I did.
That's because of this green little thing.
What is that?
Lemongrass.
Oh, that's what it was.
This adds to that kind of extra zing to this dish, and it's so amazing.
Sorry, Peter, but we have got some very exciting things that have just arrived.
First, our pomelo skin and the mystery that is yufu, and next, the dish of my destiny, Shao'e Chencun Fen, roast goose with chencun rice noodles.
What do you say?
I say, I'm sorry I kept you waiting so long. I was taking so much B-roll because I just wanted to look perfect on the camera. So I say sorry, but I also say, holy moly, wow, yes, excitement. I am so happy right now. How do we eat this, do you think? So we've got this, so this is our chencun fen here. And now, so what should we exactly do with this? Kind of put it in the sauce and...
Yep, definitely you want to give it a good swim in the sauce.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I always say that I want to bathe in the Shao'e juices. So this is like the next best thing. Oh my gosh, this chencun fen is so long. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Holy moly.
Wow.
Like what Amy would say.
Do I say that?
Holy moly, of course.
Do I say that a lot?
Literally. You're saying that like literally every single time.
I didn't realize that I was saying holy moly so much. I never realized.
Well, I mean, you literally said that like 5 minutes ago.
So I say sorry, but I also say holy moly.
Well, this has been illuminating indeed.
Well, if there was ever a dish to warrant a holy moly, this is it. If you've ever had a roast duck, for example, I know this is roast goose, but it'll be accessible to explain it as if it was roast duck. If you've ever bought a roast duck and you've had some juice on the bottom, imagine the taste of a noodle, a gorgeous, silky noodle. It's so thin, it's like paper thin. It has the most amazing soft texture, but it also has like a slight resistance as well. It keeps its shape. Imagine that kind of noodle dipped into the luscious duck juice. So this is roast goose, which is even better than roast duck in my opinion. So it's even better than roast duck juices. Oh my gosh, this is my dream dish, Peter.
Okay, I am not wasting any time. I'm putting this into my mouth.
And I'm going in for a piece of roast goose. I didn't realize we were gonna actually have roast goose in Shunde. I'm so excited. It's so tender and so flavorful.
As much as it pains me to stop, we've got another dish here to try. It's pomelo skin with something Peter described earlier as yufu on top.
Did you remember I said we can use linyu, like the meat of the mud carp, to make it into any shapes and sizes?
Are you saying that that's linyu?
Exactement.
Oh, I thought it was tofu.
It is called yufu. So instead of tofu, this is a mud carp tofu.
Oh, so it's made into a tofu shape, but it's completely mud carp.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's so interesting because really, if you see this, it looks exactly like tofu. I wonder if it tastes like tofu. Wow. And what's even weirder is it has a tofu texture, but no tofu inside.
No soy, no like beans or soy sauce or any kind of like related soy-based ingredient.
That's really weird because the taste and texture is really like tofu. And this is pomelo skin.
Yes.
And wow, is it juicy.
So why are we eating this? Why are we eating like the pomelo skin? Probably a lot of people will find it like a very weird concept. So related to TCM, it gets rid of the heat in our body.
Oh wow.
Yep.
But we're gonna jump dishes now because look what has just arrived on our table. It's our gorgeous crab guarding its stash of chencun fen. I mean, I get it. Those noodles are fire. I'd probably do the same if I was a crab.
This dish is called 鸡油花雕蟹. 鸡油, chicken fat, 花雕, Shaoxing wine, and crab. So this sauce is very special. So it has the fattiness of the chicken fat and then also the unusual but fragrant taste of the Shaoxing wine as well. But without further ado, without me further talking, probably we can dig in and dip our chencun fen already into the sauce. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm so excited. Oh, wow.
The fattiness.
You've definitely got a fattiness, yeah. You've got a seafoodiness, an umami. And you also have that, slight alcohol-y taste that I guess is coming from the Shaoxing wine.
I love this stuff.
You use the word luscious to describe this sauce. I think that's the perfect word to use. That or something like decadent. It is so decadent. It feels like we are very rich people sitting at our dining table, eating the catch of the day that's been prepared by our private chefs. I mean, it is worth saying this wasn't a cheap dish. I think it was close to 300 renminbi for one plate. But still, I mean, it makes me feel really rich. Spending money on this dish, I don't feel rich. But eating it, I feel very rich.
Well, I mean, it's worth it.
It's so worth it. So I know that Shunde is called the land of fish and rice. So fish is really famous here, like the lingyu you were talking about earlier.
Yep.
But does that kind of extend to all seafood, or it's mostly just fish that the region is famous for?
When we're looking at seafood or any kind of maritime creatures or anything, it's always worthwhile to remember that a lot of them, the best living condition for them is not like in the open ocean. It's actually in like the delta where the river meets the sea.
Okay.
Because in that case, the river actually brings a lot of nutritious stuff from its upstream. They usually just stop there for like looking for food and stuff.
And the reason why Shunde is so good for various seafood and river food is it's located smack bang in the middle of the Pearl River Delta, and so many rivers are crisscrossing their way through this city of Shunde, so you can find all kinds of delicious seafood here.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm probably taking you to like one of the restaurants that is right next to the river, and then we
cool.
can have a feel of that. So until then, I'm gonna use the magical effect of YouTube.
Hello, we are back. It is the next day.
Bonjour.
And, Tina, where have you taken me?
Okay, this place looks very unassuming. So we're literally by a highway, and then
And
above
a high-speed rail?
Yes, above us is like literally the high-speed rail, and then we are right next to a steel factory.
I guess when Peter mentioned a restaurant right on the river, a slightly different image came to mind, but technically we are close to a river though when you look at the map.
We have come to this restaurant called Shunde, but like instead of calling it a restaurant, I feel like it's necessary to introduce the concept of 农庄, so like a farm kind of style, farm kind of restaurant style. Basically, they source their ingredients locally and then fresh every day.
And people come here, like this is a popular place?
Otherwise, why do you think they can run a business here? Like this will literally warrant a 15-minute drive from the city center of Shunde, from like where we were staying.
I guess that makes sense. Like, and it's not exactly the most peaceful environment, I guess, to exist.
No, of course not.
And do business in this kind of place, you have to be, I guess, making really good food. So I'm very excited about this. I'm very intrigued. It looks really, I mean, rustic, I guess could be the word.
So as you walk in, you'll see the fish tanks and buckets on your right featuring the freshest catches of the day, all seasonal produce.
And actually, you know what? If you look at the back,
Oh, it's a little farmland.
And they're growing all different varieties of veggies and produce out here.
what you see here is going to be on the menu. It's going to be in the kitchen. It's going to be on the table for you.
You just can't judge a book by its cover, especially here in Shunde. If I would have been by myself, seen this by the side of the highway, yeah, I wouldn't have made the decision to actually come in here and eat. But this is so cool. They have all these fresh produce growing. They only serve you the freshest of the catches of the day. We even, look what I've just stumbled across here. We even have some pork, some wu hai rou, just curing in the sun, I guess.
But anyway, let's get back to the fish tanks and choose what we actually want to eat today.
This is all they have for today. And actually, you know what? This is very seasonal because I was actually asking her if they have like their very famous little crab. And she was like, sorry, the little crab is already out of season.
But that's one of the things I love about Shunde. If it's out of season, they will not serve it. It's all about freshness here. So we just asked for her opinion on what she'd recommend we eat at this time of the year.
和信點樣做？
有清蒸有鹽油蒸，
鹽油蒸啊，整條細嘅，呢條太大啦，呢條生猛要呢條，要呢條鹽油蒸，咁樣啦，嗰個河蝦要半斤，然之後你啱啱講嗰個河蝦可以點樣整啊？
有白灼有紫蘇蒸。
紫蘇蒸啊，唔該。
But what's surprising, I guess it's not really that surprising because I know that here in Shunde, they really emphasize this idea of letting the original ingredient shine for itself. A lot of the ways that she's recommending we cook our ingredients is very simply just steamed or with a little bit of oil and salt.
One last dish. So that is a kind of aquatic plant, which I don't even know how to translate it. The local way of eating it is to steam.
Needless to say, I am very curious about what the food is going to be like at this off-the-highway, farm-to-table restaurant. Within minutes, our first dish had arrived. It's deep-fried salt and pepper yin yu, which is whitebait.
So Amy, do you smell this?
I can, it smells really fragrant. Like one of my favorite dishes always when growing up, when I went to Yamcha with my parents, is getting like salt and pepper calamari or salt and pepper squid or salt and pepper whitebait. I just love that flavor profile. It's so Moorish. I mean, it's amazing. It's crunchy, it's hot, it's slightly salty, slightly peppery.
But like the thing I really like about it is that the batter here is not like overpowering. Like I'm not hating on fish and chips, but like literally.
Watch out, you're talking to an Australian here. This could get ugly.
Literally, that's not my favorite dish because the batter can be like very overpowering, can be like very oily. But this one, I really like the batter because it's light. It's like a very good accompaniment for the fish itself.
At the end of the day, you can still definitely taste the umami and the taste of that fish, which is really like quite sweet actually. This is my definition of Moorish. Give this to me, a plate of this, and it'll be gone in a few minutes.
Well, then let's make it gone in a few minutes then.
Next dish is here, and it's our river shrimp steamed with perilla leaves, or as they're known in Cantonese, dissappoint, as well as our carp steamed very simply with oil and salt, followed by our second crab in less than 24 hours. Wow, we are eating well in Shunde. After much deliberation, we decided to start with the fish.
As you can see, this is like a little bit blander than the usual kind of steamed fish that we would get in other parts of China. That's because this fish is literally so fresh. If a restaurant is serving you like frozen fish in Shunde, it is going to go bankrupt.
To have a restaurant in Shunde pretty much guarantees it's going to be tasty because it's such a competitive place to own a restaurant because people have such high standards. It's like if you go to Melbourne and you want to get a coffee, you're going to get a good coffee
Voila.
because there's so much competition in the coffee industry.
If you're not good, you're out of business.
Ooh, see how tender that is. It just falls apart.
Oh my gosh, it literally melts in my mouth.
It is so soft. It's not tough at all. Absolutely no trace of fishiness. The only thing that's slightly annoying about it is all of those sharp little bones.
And check out how soft this is. As soon as you nudge it with your chopstick, it just crumbles. On top, you have some aromatics like ginger, scallion, and coriander that provide some flavor, but for the most part, it's a very, very delicate taste.
It is not even using any soy sauce. It is just giving you the most original flavor of the fish, which is freshness. This is literally a concept in Shunde cuisine or in Cantonese cuisine in general.
Yeah.
Like, we try our best to let the food speak for itself instead of using a very strong mask to like cover the original taste.
Traveling around China, going from one place to the next, even yesterday having the whack banger flavor that we did at dinner, eating a fish like this, it does take some adjustment.
Yes.
I feel like you need to properly enjoy the food of any region in China, you need to stay there and eat locally for at least 2 or 3 days to get your mouth into the vibe. Like for example, if I'm in Sichuan and eating very spicy and mala food, it takes some time to be able to appreciate this for what it is, which is a very fresh, delicate, very beautiful dish. Do you want the eyeball?
Do you?
I already had my fill of eyeball for this year.
Of course, I'm referring to a few months ago in Gansu province, where I ate my first ever eyeball plucked from a sheep's head, which took a certain amount of courage, I have to say.
I'll eat it. It's so slippery.
Yeah, that's a real chopstick challenge. Oh, there you go. You did it. Oh, yeah. We all knew that was going to happen, Peter. That is not a surprise to absolutely anyone watching this right now.
Oh my gosh.
2-second rule. You like it?
It's my all-time favorite ever since I was little, so yeah.
Okay, well, how can I not try it now?
I've never eaten fish eyeball. Is there something I should avoid in this? Like
No,
it looks like
you
a
can
very
swallow the
hard
whole thing. It takes a lot of time to chew, but like you can swallow the whole thing. It's not
Yeah?
going to do any
I
harm
don't
to
need
you.
to spit anything out.
No,
Oh, it's quite hard.
it is.
Really? I can eat this?
Yeah. I mean, you kind of like want to like nibble through the layers of the eyeballs.
Guys, let me know your experience eating fish eyeballs in the comments, because yeah, this was super hard. Eating it was like trying to bite through a hard candy or something.
It's too hard. I literally cannot bite through that.
Then don't worry about it.
Well, I tried.
Okay, next dish. We're moving on to these river shrimps that have been steamed with black beans for an umami kick and perilla leaves.
Do we have to peel these or can we eat them whole?
We can eat them whole.
Okay, great, because I'm not a big fan of peeling
Me
my
neither.
prawns. Oh, yum, yum, yum. That is such an automatic burst of flavor in my mouth. Firstly, the texture of this shrimp is absolutely incredible. A slight crunch on the outside from the shell. It's not like I'm chewing around the shell in my mouth for like a billion years to try and get it down. This is just made to be eaten with the shell on. I'm gonna show you how crunchy this is. Let's see if you can hear it. Can you hear that? And notice it's like a crunchiness, and inside you've got the most plump meat. Oh my god. It's so good. And then the sauce is where it really begins to shine. You've got this umami kick from the black bean, you've got this herbiness from the shiso leaf, and fragrance from the coriander and some scallion in there as well. And then you've got some garlickiness as well. So it's a really well-rounded flavor, so many levels of flavor. I've really not had a shrimp dish like this before, and wow, am I enjoying it. This is, if I got this at a Michelin star restaurant, I'd be like, yep, okay, that's what I expect.
And it just seems so at odds to be experiencing this taste in this environment. We next went in and devoured our crab, and much like everything else on this table, it was so fresh. You've got that springy crab flesh, sweet taste, featuring a very subtle sauce that didn't distract at all from the freshness of the taste of the crab. Shunde strikes again. And we're finishing off this amazing meal with the aquatic plant that Peter mentioned earlier. I am so curious about this.
So apparently we need to peel like the tougher and the older part on the outside, and then we are supposed to eat the more juicy and more tender part of the inside.
So on the inside here, I stripped off all the outside and it's, yeah, quite soft there. And then of course, I will be dipping that into this garlic chili sauce. Yes, please. That plant doesn't really have too much of its own taste.
Nope.
It's just a texture. It's basically just a canvas for that delicious sauce.
Actually, I do suggest you to have a bite of the plant by itself without any sauce.
Very subtle flavor. It's giving me like Brussels sprout vibes more than it would give me something bitter. Like it's more of like a mellow flavor. It's not bitter, it's not biting, it's not sour. It's more like, you know, like a broccoli or a Brussels sprout where you're getting that flavor kind of here in the back of your throat. And it's very subtle. It's really not got too much of a flavor. It's a nice texture.
It is.
Almost meaty.
I feel like this can be a great dish for vegans.
Yeah, that's true.
If you become creative and cook this with like some meat cooking techniques. Yeah. Since this video is about the land of fish and rice, I actually got one additional item, and that's made of rice. And it can be a perfect dessert after this meal.
So we made our way to a local mall where they had a store specializing in this here. It's called Lin Jiao Gao, a sweet snack made of rice. It comes in two flavors, this one which is white sugar and this one which is brown sugar. We opted for the brown sugar one.
Look at this. I mean, you don't really see on the camera, but it's got a little bit of a wiggle to it. Oh, Peter, what else did you get us? What is this?
This is 炸牛奶 deep fried milk.
So this is the snack in question. It's like on the outside quite crispy, and on the inside it looks like it's going to be quite soft. I reckon we should eat this first.
Because it's hot.
It's hot now. This is what we're working with here. Okay, interesting. This is so good. On the outside it's really crispy and got that deep fried oily taste, and then inside it's very creamy, almost like a custard, and soft, and oh, it's so good. It's sweet. Where have you been all my life?
In Shunde.
Can I please move to Shunde already? Land of fish and rice. I think we have hit the topic on the head. That's going to bring us to the end of this Shunde food adventure. Peter, the last 3 videos have just been a dream. An absolute dream. Thank you so much for your infectious personality that you bring to these videos, your incredible local knowledge of food. Guys, Peter is amazing, so make sure you are following him on Instagram here. I'm gonna put his handle on the screen. We have just been organizing what our next food adventure together will be in a few months, and it's really exciting because it won't even be in China at all. We're, you know, I mean...
We're not telling you where it is.
But I think you can probably guess. It's a place that, you know, Peter in Paris is going to be taking me there, if you know what I'm saying. So I'm so excited. We're going international, guys.
Oh, bien sûr. I'm so excited as well.
It's going to be amazing. So as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as my dad would say, SLCB. Subscribe, like, comment, and buy. As you can see, I'm wearing my Food Adventure Club merch. The back is where the real fun happens. It is so cute. You too can be part of the Food Adventure Club. The link will be in my description. I'll see you on my channel next week, guys, and I'll see you in a few months, Peter.
Okay, au revoir.
Au revoir. Bye.